Hi, this is Jen Gaviola, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about our local control accountability plan. As most of you know, through lots of communication through the district, we have been revising and meeting on prioritizing our goals and funding for essential programs and positions in Cayucas Elementary that help impact student achievement, connectivity to the school, social emotional support, professional development, baseline curriculum, and much, much more. So, at our next board meeting on June 14th, I'll be going over this presentation to talk about the changes within the local control accountability plan, and we will be having a public hearing. So, this is just a preview to that to get you thinking about any of those ideas and, of course, asking questions, letting you know that our door is open for questions, comments, and concerns. So really quickly, I will give you the 10,000 square feet view of our LCAP, our Local Control Accountability Plan, by looking at the process and definition, our goals and actions, our funding overall, and then the last two slides will really be reserved for the board meeting. So currently, our Local Control Accountability Plan funds about approximately $134,000 of our total budget here in Cayucas, which is just under that $5 million range. So in the Local Control Accountability Plan, it is the state funding model that actually was incorporated just about 10 years ago. It's kind of hard to believe, where we started to look at local decisions being made with a bucket of money versus separate categorical monies that had been earmarked for specific programs from the state of California. With that said, there are areas or what's called the state priorities that must be addressed in the local control accountability plan. You will see a graphic here that goes over those big buckets: basic services, state standards, courses access, services for expelled foster youth, making sure we have parent involvement, student engagement, positive school climate, successful student achievement measured by outcomes. So that is the overall big picture of the local control accountability plan. The funding comes from the number of students that are enrolled in your school district that fit what's called unduplicated status, which are special populations of students that have great needs in the area of education. Those include our foster youth, our homeless students, our English language learner, and socioeconomically disadvantaged youth. So really quickly, our process this year has been to really look at our goals in our local control accountability plan, work with our teachers, our parents, and our students through surveys, conversations, formal meetings, board presentations, more conversations, and really look at what is the essential prioritized list of services that will best serve our students to make all students successful here in Cayucas. And this will give you kind of a summary of some of the work that we've done. We narrowed down our 4 large areas of focus in Cayucas to student success and achievement in academics, student success and access in visual and performing arts, positive school culture and climate, and student success in college career readiness and citizenship, which has been a new area of focus even this year and even more next year. In addition to this being what's called the LCAP, it also serves for the federal requirement for the school plan for student achievement, or also known as SPSA. Because we are a very small school district and our federal dollars is actually quite small, which is approximately $54,000, we can write one unifying plan and have one committee that helps us give feedback and support through our educational partnerships. Speaking of our educational partners, it's essential for us to have conversations with our parents and community and our staff and our students in looking at what we want to prioritize through the LCAP. So we did this through our collaboration with our school site council, our LCAP advisory, our PTA, and many more avenues. In addition, we consulted with our special education local plan area, or what's called your SELPA, And in that area, we talked about our students with disabilities and how we could also best serve those students. Here are all of the educational partner engagements that we've done this year. You can see that we've been very, very busy. In addition to this, we've also done, this is our second LCAP video that helps engage people and understand our process, as well as all of our meetings and work in this area. So let's talk about the heart of the LCAP, which are the goals. So the goals really drive what we do in our school district, but also specifically related to these dollars from the state of California. Our first goal is in the area of student success and achievement in academics. And the goal states that we want to reduce the achievement gap for English learners, students with a disability, and unduplicated pupils or students, while maintaining our school-wide academic excellence. So this goal really looks at the heart of having all of our students be successful and have the services necessary for achievement. Some of the main key actions, although it's not an exhausted list, are our English language development teacher, which is our part-time teacher that works specifically in individual or small group English language development. We have 6 intervention paraeducators, which are paraeducators that are placed in our elementary classrooms, specifically there to support literacy and math development, as well as some social emotional supports and needs in the area of behavior. Lastly, we have an intervention teacher, that's a TOSA, teacher on special assignment. In that area, she works explicitly with students who have been identified to need additional help in the area of literacy. Our next goal has been revised, and it really came from the heart of one of the main attributes of Cayucos Elementary, which is our visual and performing arts program. It is very special and unique for us to have all of the services that we do related to VAPA, or visual and performing arts. We have a 0.8 art teacher, a 0.3 music teacher, and a 0.6 drama teacher. And we believe that when students have access and programs and services in the area of visual and performing arts, it makes them even more productive within the school day and in the community. And so we essentially are stating in the LCAP that it is part of what we do here in Cayucos and an essential piece of our educational continuum. Our goal 3 looks at positive school culture and climate. And the goal is to create an inclusive school community based on meaningful collaboration between our staff, families, and our community, which will then tie to our mission, which is to educate, inspire, and empower the whole child. In an area of action here, we've added additional counseling services this past year, and we'll continue those, which puts a counselor here on campus 4 days a week, as well as a mental health therapist 1 day a week. And they support not only one-on-one counseling and group counseling, but preventative work and classroom presentations, focusing on anti-bullying, restorative practices, getting along, peer-to-peer interaction, college and career planning as well, which we'll talk about in our next goal, and implementation of what's called Second Step, which is a social emotional program which helps support empathy, turn taking, and it's very specific to childhood development and age appropriate conversations. The next area is continuing on our character counts, which teaches character traits that make someone successful in the entire world versus just in a school-based setting. Our last goal in the LCAP is student success in college and career readiness and citizenship. And we really want to foster globally minded college and career ready lifelong learners. Our counselor, who's Tara Walker, a lot of you have met with her, it really has emphasized this area this year and will continue to do that. That includes high school transition activities, which is one-on-one meetings for every 8th grade parent trainings. It includes student presentations, career weeks, really exploration and looking at what do we want to be when we grow up and how do we get there? And really helping kids dream big, but also providing them with the supports necessary to think about and plan for their future, as well as bringing in our parents as partners. So those are the 4 main goals of the LCAP. The projected revenue source, which you'll see here, once again, is approximately that $134,000. So it's a small amount within the budget. You'll also notice in the LCAP, we have exceeded that expenditure, which just means that we've planned in case there's an increase in funding, but either the school district or the state revenues will pay for those actions that we've kind of highlighted: our paraeducators, our intervention teachers, our ELD teachers, our counseling services, those type of things. Before we close today, we want to thank our parent committee that's helped revise and give feedback during this entire process, which includes Roberta and Jeff Held, Katie Madonna, Amy Armstrong, Robin Corman, Wendy Racine, and Natalie Interian. And they've been wonderful partners throughout this whole process. We also want to thank the parents who filled out the parent survey and our staff who did the same, and of course, our middle school students. So what are our next steps? Our next steps is that at our board meeting, we will have a public hearing. That is at the June 14th board meeting. I'll go over this presentation. We'll talk through these ideas and actions with the Board of Education here in Cayucas. And then we will have a 2-week comment period and then bring back the LCAP as well as the budget, in fact, at the June 28th meeting. Prior to that, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please do not hesitate to email me, your superintendent, Jen Gaviola, jgaviola@cayucasschool.org, or come in, make a meeting, and we can sit down and talk any of these things out. The full LCAP is posted on our website, which is www.cayucasschool.org. And if you just put in the search bar LCAP, it'll come up, and it's also on the front page. So we want to thank you for your time today and all of your support this